Hello and welcome. My name is Logan, owner of Flourish Ayurveda, and I am so happy that you're here with me today. I will be guiding you through a meditation of transformation, specifically emotional transformation. So there are times in our lives where we feel like our emotions are getting the best of us. Times where we allow our emotions of fear and anxiety and anger to overtake us. This meditation is meant to teach you and help you to train your mind to understand that you have the inner power to transform any emotion that you feel. A big part of transformation is allowing the space for our emotions to be seen and heard. We are human and we will experience the entire range of emotions, sometimes within a day, sometimes within an hour. So this meditation is meant to create a space for that, a safe space for that, where it won't be channeled at someone we love or a stranger, but rather we'll use those emotions for some personal inquiry and exploration. So I invite you to find a comfortable seated position. We like to meditate with an upright spine, finding alignment from the crown of the head down through the tailbone. If it's uncomfortable to sit on the floor, you can use a bolster or a block or some blankets, or you can sit on a chair, scooching yourself towards the front of the chair so the spine is tall and both feet are on the ground. If that's not comfortable, you can sit in a recliner or recline yourself on your bed with some pillows behind you. The most important thing is that you're comfortable and that you can stay awake to listen to the meditation. So finding that comfortable seated position, I invite you to begin breathing through your nose. If that's not comfortable, through the mouth is fine. And just beginning to close the eyes, focusing on a deeper breath moving in and out of your body. Inviting the inhale to fill the space behind your navel, inside your hips, and even into the low back. So the breath is not just forward in the body, it's all around, as if a balloon is in that low belly space. Inhale, filling the balloon with air out in all directions. Exhale, releasing the air out of the balloon slowly and consistently, and then squeezing the navel back just slightly at the very end of that exhale. So a few more breaths like that, long and deep, keeping your mind focused on the breath coming in and out and on my voice. Noticing already that the mind and the body are beginning to calm down, beginning to relax. Noticing if the relaxation happens more for you on the inhale or the exhale. Just noticing. This particular meditation, and most meditations, are meant to be done in a non-judgmental space, meaning that we step out of that part of the brain and self that likes to really judge and analyze, and we step rather into a space of just observation, of noticing and stating what's going on without the judgment, without the blame or shame or label. Continuing that long, deep breath, going to begin to explore some of the most common emotions. So as you're breathing, I want you to begin to focus on the idea of happiness, of joy, of excitement. Notice where you feel that in your body, even when I just say the words. Where do you feel it? Happiness. Breathe into that. Joy. Where do you hold this? And then begin to think of a few things that bring these emotions to you almost always, pretty consistently. What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? And just a few breaths into those ideas or images or concepts or people, focusing on the body and where you're feeling the emotion. Noticing that the emotion is a physical feeling. Next, we'll move into sadness, to depression, heaviness, without judgment. Let's take a few deep breaths, inviting that emotion in. Where do you hold the heavy stuff? Where do you hold your grief, your sadness? Where do you feel it in your body? Keeping that deep breath coming in and out slowly. Notice the feeling in the physical body. Begin to think of a few things that bring you sadness right now, that conjure up that heavy feeling in the body. Without judgment, let's just give those emotions some space. Let's breathe into them and allow them to get a little bigger. So often we try to shrink them down or hide them. We are now consciously pulling them up and giving them space without judgment. Let's just let them be here for a moment. Deep breath. And then we'll move on to fear. Moving on to the feeling of fear or anxiety or being scared. Often this is present when we think of our future or our worries and fears. Where do you feel it in your body? Where do you hold it? Where is it located? Taking some deep, full breaths right into that space. We'll invite just a few things to come to mind that you feel, that you think of when this emotion surfaces. And again, let's observe it without judgment. Let's offer it a little bit of space. Let's honor it because we all have it. And let's give it some room. Allow yourself to feel it. Notice the sensations in the body. And then next, we'll move into love, into connection, into safety. Where do you feel that in the body? Where is your love, your compassion, your connection, your safety, your comfort? Where do you hold that? Deep breath right into that spot. Thinking of a few things that consistently bring you that love and compassion and safety. And as we breathe, allowing that space to open, feeling the sensation, the temperature, Feel it spread. Feel it get bigger. Feel it open. And once we've located the emotions in the physical body, we can now use this for our inner transformation. So when we have the feeling of anxiety, of fear, we can recognize and acknowledge that feeling for being there. And then we can choose the feeling of love and safety and lean into that instead. Can physically feel when the anxiety and fear comes up and where it is in the body. And then we can shift the awareness and focus to love and compassion and safety. And just in this way, honoring the feelings and emotions, giving them space, seeing that as they come up, they're coming up to teach us. They're coming up to invite us to grow and to learn. So not pushing anything away, but rather holding this space and container just like this for the feelings to come and surface and have space to breathe, and then choosing which one we would prefer that day. And the same with the sadness, the same with the depression, feeling where it is, giving it space and room, maybe even asking what message it would like to deliver. Seeing what is the purpose, why is it presenting itself right now in this moment? And then choosing the happiness and the joy and connecting into that spot too. We are all of the emotions. We all have them all. And they're not good or bad. They're just here to indicate and really to help us find alignment, to help us see what feels good. Being isolated and scared, or being connected and embraced. And from an internal space and perspective, we get to choose and shift these emotions on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. You have this power. It's just tuning in and recognizing it. Tuning in and making a choice in the moment. And if I find the emotions come back, the heavy emotions come back frequently, sometimes it means there's more there for you to explore. Maybe trying this meditation with a journal and a pen, pausing it and giving yourself a little more time in each emotion to really feel and explore. It is amazing and so simple that if we actually acknowledge what is arising and then even further communicate it, whether to ourselves or to the person that the feeling is coming up with, when we do this in that non-judgmental space where there's not blame and shame and guilt, but there's just observation and acknowledgement, the amount of transformation that can happen in those moments is unbelievable. It can really change everything for you. It can really shift relationships with ourselves and with others. There is no right and wrong way to feel. There's just vibrations and lessons and acknowledgement and feelings and choice. When we feel that our emotions are overtaking us, we become a victim to the emotion. And then we feel powerless. And that, I think, is the biggest trigger for us. So I want you to remember in those moments when you feel like you don't have power, I I want you to remember that you can breathe and that you can connect into these emotions and that you have the ability to connect in and to feel whatever it is you need to feel, to communicate it with yourself or with others, and then to make the choice as to what emotion you want to feel and process that day. You always have a choice. Even when it doesn't feel like it, I invite you to take your power back and find your choice, find your lesson and meaning amidst that discomfort. And if it's too much for you on your own, find someone that you can talk to. Find someone that can help you, because that also exists. There are a lot of people that want to hold that space for you. There are a lot of people that want to help you, especially when you start speaking so openly and honestly about your feelings. So take a few more deep breaths, allowing any extra little bit of transformation and information to settle in, to integrate. And I'd like you, from an internal space, to answer this question. How would you like to feel for the rest of the day? It can be any emotion or feeling that comes to mind. How would you like to feel for the rest of the day? How can you make sure that you choose that instead of whatever else arises? Please place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Listen and receive these words. You are doing a great job. You are beautiful. You're exactly where you need to be on your path and journey. You are learning and growing every single day, and you're doing an amazing job with what life is giving you. You are the one that gets to choose. The power is within you. Take a few deep breaths. Let that sink in and through. I hope you have a perfect day, whatever that means for you today. Namaste.